Good morning, champions. Happy Wednesday morning, coming to you live from the 5 a.m. club, where we get up early and we conquer our morning to own our day. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday morning. And as we kick off this Wednesday morning, it's President's Challenge, right? So that's kind of the mantra, that's the drumbeat of this week. And the vast majority of you watching this opted in. If you didn't opt in, I still wonder why, right? But for those watching this, you probably opted in. And so now we are 2 days through 7 days of the President's Challenge. And so it's that time to obviously review, evaluate, see where we're at. And I was talking to some prospects that were considering SOS yesterday. And in that, I was reminded, as I was reminding them, that game tape can be so valuable, right? And so just like, anytime I have a one-on-one with any of you all, a lot of times there's a lot of value and a lot of things discovered in listening to, just a couple recordings from the previous day and being able to hear kind of the mindset, kind of how the intro happens, the warm-up, all that stuff. And so I know that when we put pressure on ourselves to hit certain metrics, right? When it comes to, okay, I'm really trying to hit 10,000 AP and this is what I'm trying to do, and those things, then sometimes we get away from what works, right? Because now we're trying to take shortcuts, or we're trying to do more of something in a single day than we usually do, and all those things can affect it and make changes. And so just my reminder on this morning is twofold. One, don't get away from what works just because you're trying to make more calls or more sales or whatever in a single day. And then two, don't go too long without, even if it's just spending 20 minutes, right? Listening to yourself, listening to some calls, and just kind of hearing what your tonality is, what your energy level is when you're making, especially those first couple minutes of every call. And sometimes just hearing that for 10 minutes can kind of make you self-aware of your current mindset, mood, and different things like that, and can help you make micro adjustments. So that was my message for this morning. Now that only applies, right, to people that are putting in mass activity, right? Because the answer oftentimes comes from, okay, if I'm not on pace for winning President's Challenge, then let me see what James has to say. But the first part is to actually look at the numbers, right? And so if you aren't at 12 hours, let's say, through 2 days, then that's the easiest place to start. And that's what we do, right? It's, the same analogy, since I'm driving to the gym, of if I'm trying to lose a bunch of weight, I don't need somebody to look at the form of, my push-ups if my diet's a mess, right? If my diet's a mess and I'm just trying to lose weight, it's like, if I'm going home and eating 5,000 calories, then that's the reason I'm not losing weight, not because I can't do the push-ups. And so sometimes it's as basic as, hey, I just need to talk to more people, and understanding that and keeping our mindset positive and where it needs to be. So, if it was just a matter of, I let my fear of rejection get in my way yesterday, and I let a couple hang-ups get me upset, and I let somebody that was rude, upset me. Wipe your mind clean, fresh slate today, understanding that it's not you, that's what they're not upset about. Let's get after it. Let's make it happen today. And as always, the goal is to get 1% better, right? So let's aspire to be better today than we were yesterday. Let's Let's do it every single day, folks. You'll be amazed at where you end up. Let's have a fantastic Wednesday. Let's make it happen. See everybody at the National Call soon. It's going to be a good one. Income replacement. We're rocking it out today. Make sure you're there in attendance. See you guys then. I'm out. Woo!